Hi, I'm Sandra from One Life Holistics, and today I'm kickstarting our 4-week self-love program for the Health Hub, which is in Loughrea, Galway. Um, we're going to spend the first week just talking about our experiences with what can be called the lockdown or shutdown, the pandemic that's taken over the world, and just talking about how we've dealt with it. We've all dealt with it very differently, I'm sure. A lot of us will be going through a very similar roller coaster of emotions, and we're going to try and just, you know, give some self-help tips that have helped us out during this period of lockdown, which might or might not help you. We'll all have different ways of managing it. But I know for me, the first 2 weeks of lockdown, I considered it as an opportunity to get everything done. Everything that I didn't manage to get done in the house, in the garden, all the study I wanted to get done, I was going to get it all done in the first 2 weeks of the lockdown. Of course, that's very unrealistic. It put an awful lot of pressure on myself. I was running around like a headless chicken, thinking, yes, I'll get all these rooms painted, I'll get the garden dug up and things planted. And I'd more or less burnt out by the end of the 2 weeks, which I think is what a lot of us did, because we thought, well, we've got this opportunity of 2 weeks, it's like a holiday, and then everything will go back to normal. And as we know, that didn't happen. And, so I found for the next 2 to 4 weeks, it was that recognition that we're in it for the long haul. And I found myself looking at the media way, way, way too much. I was watching the news every given opportunity. I was hearing all the negative stories out of this lockdown, and I became very fearful. So, ended up our lives were being consumed by that. So it was the other extreme to what I felt in the first 2 weeks. I have to say, since then, I kind of recognized what I was doing to myself. I've stopped drinking as much, albeit it was just at the weekends, but it wasn't doing my mental health any favours. So I've settled into more of a routine. I started getting up earlier and going to bed earlier, which is something I used to be really consistent with, but let go for this first couple of weeks. I've started to focus more on my exercise routine. And I know for myself, my mental health has been very up and down over the years. And if I don't do some form of exercise, be that my yoga, be that my walking, it has to be very simple. I'm not a massive yang type exercise person, but I love my running and my walking and my yoga. And they were enough to just ground me and bring me back down into a routine that I found every day then wasn't becoming Groundhog Day. So now it's looking like, yeah, certainly for my industry, the health industry, we're not going to be getting back to business for a while. And I've struggled with the whole thing of, should I do what everyone else is doing and go online? And for the first 2 months of this lockdown, I just could not bring myself to it. Now I'm feeling a bit more able and a bit more stable and a bit more peace of mind to be able to do that and bring that to you. So what I'm looking for today is for you to find what you're now able to incorporate back into your life. Maybe looking at the thoughts that you've been having for the last 3 months and just choosing one or two of those thoughts and seeing if you can make a change to how you are thinking. They say that thoughts can make us sick, which they can, but we can also use our thoughts to make us very well. And when we consider that we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts as we've had the day before, and the day before, and the day before. So it goes to reason that, if we can choose a couple of those thoughts to focus on, see where they've come from, and then try and adapt how we're thinking with those particular thoughts. We don't want to be attacking all the thoughts that are in our heads. That's not possible. But if we can start working on one or two thoughts a day and maybe challenge them, put a more positive spin on them, we need to start working on this ourselves, because otherwise we're going to get dragged down with our mental thought. So for me, I've turned off the news so that I'll maybe have an update of news once a day. So rather than watching the 9 o'clock news and, the 6 o'clock news in the evening, and then, follow on social media during the day to see what's happening in the world, I'll do that maybe once a day, and some days I'm not even doing it the once. Introducing something that you used to do, that you used to love doing, that you've got out of the habit of because we're out of our routine, try to introduce that back in. And that might be something as simple as going for that little walk. It could be something like cooking or reading, or, sitting there and not feeling guilty about watching Netflix or whatever it may be for you. Find that one thing you can reintroduce. The more we do this, the more we can change our thought process. Things like going back to the simple things in life and recognizing that this lockdown can produce more opportunity. And it is fearful for a lot of us because obviously a lot of our jobs have been threatened. Our whole way of being has been threatened. But we can start working on changing our thought process towards it. And one way of doing that is looking at the simpler aspects of your life. Look at the quality of what it's given us to spend time with our family, to spend time with pets, to maybe find those few moments where, God, we don't have to do anything. We can just sit with what we want to do right here and right now without feeling the pressure, that external pressure of having to do something all the time. So I've probably talked for too long now, but just for today, maybe have a thought. Have a look at your thoughts. Find that one thing that you think, I can work on and I can change that. And maybe looking at the simpler aspects of your life and just enjoying them. Anyway, have a good week. The rest of the practitioners from the Health Hub are going to be talking every day as well, and I'm sure we'll all throw different things into the equation. I'll see you again next Monday. You can find me on One Life Holistics as well. I give updates on yoga and meditation and various different health aspects throughout the week, so feel free to follow me there. And in the meantime, just have a great Monday. Look after yourselves.